April 19th, 2022 City of Oshkosh Plan Commission meeting. We're glad that you can join us. Before we start, I have a few housekeeping items I'd like to go over. Please turn off or silence all personal communication devices. When there is an agenda item that includes a public hearing, please understand that the applicant will be allowed to speak first. After the applicant finishes, the public will be asked to speak. When called upon to speak, please approach the podium and state your name and address for the public record. You will have one opportunity to speak per agenda item unless a Plan Commission member requires clarification or wishes to ask you a question. After the public finishes speaking, the applicant will be asked if they have a final statement for the Plan Commission, and then the Commission will take action on that agenda item. Thank you for your understanding. Now on to the agenda. I see we do have a quorum, so roll call, please.
Mr. Marshall?
Here.
Ms. Prop?
Here.
Ms. Shireman? Mr. Bowen?
Here.
Mr. Coulibaly? Ms. Davy?
Here.
Councilmember Ford?
Here.
Mr. Kiefer? Vice Chair Mitchell?
Here.
Chairperson Perry?
Here.
7 present.
Thank you. And now we'll do something different than last meeting. I'll call for the approval of the April 5th, 2021 minutes.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and second. Is there any discussion on the minutes? All right, seeing none, we have a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. On to item number 1, public hearing, zone change from single-family residential 5 district, SR5, to urban mixed-use district, UMU, for property located at 2854 Fond du Lac Road. CGR Holdings LLC is the owner, Game Time Sports Bar, Tom Castle is the applicant. Were there any site inspections by the Plan Commission? I see Mr. Mitchell. I think Mr. Bowen, your hand is up. Ms. Prop. Okay. I will accept the staff report as part of the record. Staff, please present your summary.
Thank you. So the subject site is located on Fond du Lac Road. It was previously a residential use. It's now a vacant, about half-acre lot. It is currently zoned SR5, single-family residential district. The applicant is proposing to rezone it to urban mixed-use district. The surrounding area is mostly residential uses, along with commercial uses to the north. Here's kind of an aerial view with the zoning map overlay. So they're proposing to rezone it to UMU to have consistent zoning with the neighboring property to the north, which is Game Time Sports Bar. The reason for the rezone is they would like to combine the existing parking lot with the subject site to be one property and have additional parking on the area. They have submitted a preliminary plan. They will need to make some changes to that plan to meet code requirements, and would also require a conditional use permit for the number of parking stalls they're proposing. And they have noted that they need these additional stalls to accommodate parking for customers and staff, to prevent the overflow parking from going in the neighboring residential streets. And also there is no parking on Fond du Lac Road for customers, so that additional parking would help with those needs. The comprehensive plan calls for residential use for the site, but the comprehensive plan is not intended to be parcel specific, so staff is supportive, provided there will be combining the lot for just an addition to the existing commercial use. So with that, staff recommends approval of the rezone with the findings in your staff report.
Thank you. Plan Commission, are there any technical questions to the staff? Mr. Bowen.
CUP would obviously come back to us.
Correct.
That's it. That's my question.
All right. Mr. Mitchell.
What's the scope of what we would have the authority to add or remove from as a recommendation? Given that they're looking to change the use of the land, does that mean that there's an ability to add provisions?
Condition a zone change. Any conditions would be as part of the conditional use permit process.
Got it.
Any other questions, technical questions to the staff? All right, at this time, I'll open the public comment period and request a statement from the applicant. If you could state your name and address for a record, please.
Tom Castle, 4487 Plumbers Point Road, Oshkosh. Really, what Brian said is exactly what we are asking for. It is for as much safety. We park currently on Gibson Court, our staff does, so people do have to walk down to the north, both employees and customers. And at later times of the night, that's not the safest road to walk down Fond du Lac Road, and some of the buildings to the north may not be quite as safe, so we're just trying to build a more conducive lot and business for our customers to come to. So I don't, unless you want me to, I can rehash the reasons why, but what Brian said is pretty much it.
Great, thank you. Is there any other member of the public that would like to speak at this time? Any other public comment at this time on this agenda item? Okay, having seen none, I will close the public comment period. I would ask for a closing statement from the applicant, but I believe their opening statement is also their closing statement. Commission, action is on your shoulders. What would you have, Commission?
Make a motion to adopt the recommendations and findings as stated in the staff report.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion on the floor? Mr. Mitchell?
I guess just to share my thoughts on this, given that at some point a plan's going to be put together and come back, is I think it's awesome. I think the redevelopment of that site that they did is great. The place looks awesome. I drive by it every day, and it's been very busy. So what a great addition to that neighborhood. The fact that the next door, lot is vacant. This seems like a very sensible development. The only thing that I would point out that I hope that the applicant will consider is, south of Oshkosh along Fond du Lac Avenue is a very beautiful, desirable area. Great yards, considerable wooded terrain, Lake Winnebago shore and stream features. There's not really any existing developments that are partitioned off by solid wood fencing, except for that little quadrant of area, and it really detracts from the feel of south of town. There's precedent for there being wooded borders, whether it be TJ's Harbor, the whole area that they have fenced is evergreen trees. Old staples from the area, the industrial site, as well as the golf course, the industrial site right across from the golf course, those are bordered by living fences. And the neighbor, not necessarily directly to the south, but 2 homes to the south, has probably, one of the finest landscaped front yards that our city has, and there's just a lot of pride that people clearly take into their neighborhood. And the back of that lot, the back of the existing lot is fenced, and you have a wooded fence that's overgrown with weeds and really is a detraction from the care and beauty that's been put into that section of town, if you will. And I'm optimistic that Mr. Castle will agree, given the attention to detail and the quality that they put into the bar, that in turn they can match that with an attractive landscaping that positively adds to the neighborhood.
Thank you. Any other discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Marshall?
Aye.
Ms. Prop?
Aye.
Mr. Bowen?
Aye.
Ms. Davy?
Aye.
Councilmember Ford?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mitchell?
Aye.
Chairperson Perry?
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0.
Thank you. Item number 2 has been removed from our agenda and may tentatively be scheduled on the May 3rd Plan Commission meeting. Item number 3, public hearing, conditional use permit for group development at 1775 Maricopa Drive. Logan Rankin owner, Ken Bowers applicant. Have there been any site inspections of this property? Mr. Mitchell, I see. And that is all I see, so I will accept the staff report as part of the record. Please present your summary.
Thank you. So the site we're looking at today is 1775 Maricopa Drive. Here at the screen, you can see the subject site. It's located over in what we call the West Haven area. The applicant here is requesting a conditional use permit to do a group development. The code requires, I think, 3 or more becomes a group development, which requires a CUP. As you can see here, there's two existing apartment complexes on this property, and the building in the middle, where it's labeled as subject site, is an existing pool house, kind of a public, not a public, but an area where a common area for all the residents. They are wanting to change that into a 3-bedroom apartment unit. With that, the pool area has already been removed and returned to earth, but the pool house itself is where they're looking to make these changes. You can see they've are additionally adding 3 parking spaces there in the parking lot, and then screening them with the appropriate screening materials. This use is consistent with the neighborhood. Being, matching the density measures of the existing properties. Here's some pictures of what the property looks like, this specific building, what it looks like from the front, or looking from the west to the east, and what the proposed new windows will look like. So they're kind of changing it more to a residential style. The gray would be the existing window area, and the hatched out mark would be the new area, I believe. Some more views. So east looking west, and then from the south looking north. The north looking south view is subject to change based on utilities. And so with that, staff recommends approval of the conditional use permit for group development at the proposed location.
Thank you. Plan Commissioner, are there any technical questions to the staff? Mr. Mitchell?
Do you know how long ago the pool was removed?
Well, I think that was our 2020 image, so I think it was sometime in between 2020 and 2022.
Yes.
Got it. And just the other question was, when we look to shift land use on like a rental unit, I know sometimes in our new developments we have green space requirements and whatnot. I'm guessing this preceded that, and such that there wouldn't have been any like conditions when this was put in that said, in order to have that site be multifamily, you need to have recreational activities for the residents on site, and now we're getting rid of it, and you know where I'm going.
Correct, yeah, that would have not been in the code at the time of this development. The way the current code reads, with the addition of the 3rd building, it would be a change of 25 square feet would have to be added, because it's based on per unit. With the green space they have, the 25 square foot difference is negligible. They have enough green space on site to cover that 25 square feet.
Got it.
Any other questions for the staff?
One thing I did forget to mention is that particular building, and it says it in the staff report, addition to the 3-bedroom apartment that has a livable area, there's a laundry room for all the residents as well.
No other questions? Okay, we will open the public comment period and request a statement from the applicant. Please state your name and address for our records.
Ken Bowers, N 4031 Liberty Lane, Freedom, Wisconsin. I'm representing the owner. The owner bought the property probably about 2 years ago. When we took over the property, I'm with Focus Property Management, the building was empty. It was not being used for anything. So over the last 2 years, we were kind of just watching this area to see what we could do with the building. Started looking at this early this year, saying that can we develop this into another apartment to use the building, because it was not being used for anything. So that kind of brings me here today. We are going to update the building to make it modernize, make it look like just the other building, so it blends in with that. Adding the additional parking spots will take care of, the additional housing that goes in there. It'll be a nice 3-bedroom, 1 property for a new resident.
Ms. Prop?
Yeah, group development, are you expecting unrelateds to live here, or is this a possibility that a family could move into the 3 bedrooms?
Imagine, in our 3 bedrooms, we do get small families moving in. So I would say, yeah.
Okay, so it could be either one, but because there's 3 bedrooms in 1 unit, is that why you have to have a group development, that label?
Oh, no.
I can answer that for you. It's because there's now a 3rd building that contains units. Our code, anytime you get to 3 primary structures, it necessitates the need for a conditional use permit for a group development. So previously, they had 2 primary structures and an accessory building. Now that accessory building is being converted to an apartment, it triggers the need for the conditional use permit to have 3 buildings with units in them.
Oh, okay, because I can see that being good for a family. There are not enough 3-bedroom units for families. Is this Section 8 at all, or is it private rental?
I don't understand.
Is it
Subsidized housing?
subsidized
Oh.
housing or market rate?
Market rate.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mitchell?
Thank you. Am I right that that's a single story?
Single story on a slab.
So as you're probably aware, there's a serious need in the city for handicap accessible housing that individuals with mobility impairments that they can access. And single-story units are a prime opportunity. Do you know, is the site going to be, or is it already kind of set up to support somebody who may have those needs?
We have been working with McMahon and Associates, but have not determined a final layout yet. So,
Awesome. If I can just, I'm guessing you guys have the material to provide, guidance and I guess directions for how to do that. It would be great to hear, to come back and hear what you did, not that you have to come back, but either what you did and how you were able to do it, or why you ultimately chose not to do it. I think that it's a major area that the city could, in general, not just a department, but the city across the board could do much better. And you provide an opportunity for us to learn, what barriers you're coming across to helping us meet that need.
perfect.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to move on to the opening the public comment period and requesting additional public comment at this time. Is there anybody that would like to speak on this agenda item? Is there anybody that'd like to speak on this agenda item? Having seen none, we'll close the public comment period. I guess we will ask for a closing statement from the applicant, but we have already received it. So commission action, what have you, commission?
Make a motion to adopt the recommendations and findings as stated in the staff report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion from the commission on the motion? Having seen none, we will take our roll call vote.
Mr. Marshall?
Aye.
Ms. Prop?
Aye.
Mr. Bowen?
Aye.
Ms. Davy?
Aye.
Councilmember Ford?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mitchell?
Aye.
Chairperson Perry?
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0.
Okay, item number 4 on the agenda, general development plan and specific implementation plan for a fence addition at 0 Plainview Drive. AAI Properties is the owner and applicant. Are there any site inspections of this property? Ms. Prop? Seeing none other, I will accept the staff report as part of the record. Staff, please present your summary.
Thank you. So the subject site is located on Plainview Drive, west of I-41. It is zoned suburban mixed-use district with a planned development overlay. It currently has about a 60,000 square foot truck parking lot, and the surrounding area consists predominantly of vacant land as well as similar truck stop uses to the north, a hotel and the Kamai Town Hall to the south, and I-41 to the east. So the applicant is proposing to install a fence along the entrance to the parking area. Their narrative also notes that in the future they intend to add a building, including a washout bay, maintenance shop, and offices to be used as headquarters for Keela Transport. However, at this time, they're just proposing the fencing along the entrance. It will be 6-foot tall chain link fencing, including a sliding gate. Is intended to secure the lot to protect the vehicles and products loaded in the trailers. It will have a 48-foot double sliding gate, approximately 17 feet from the property line, and then also 10-foot sections extending towards the front property line, which will be about 7 feet off. Here's an image on the right of the proposed fencing. Again, 6-foot tall chain link fencing. So they will need base standard modifications for the fencing material type being chain link, which is prohibited in front yards, and also 6-foot tall fencing in the front yard where the maximum height is 4 feet in the front yard. So staff is supportive of the BSMs as it is intended to secure that parking lot, which is already slightly into that setback. Also, the site has a large right-of-way terrace area, so it's kind of a sufficient area off of the actual road. There are existing plantings along the street that the applicant has noted that they will be maintaining. Staff is recommending that the applicant provide 30 landscaping points to kind of soften the view of that chain link fencing from the road. So with that, staff recommends approval of the SIP with the findings and conditions in your staff report.
All right, thank you. Are there any technical questions to the staff on this agenda item? Ms. Davy?
Is there fencing or something around the other 3 sides of this property?
Presently, no. Presently, no, there is not. They're really just looking to secure access from the road into the site.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Bone?
I can't quite tell from the drawing in the staff report. Are there slats included in the chain link, or is it just? I wasn't sure what that shading represented there. If one part is open, the other part is slatted, or?
I believe it's entirely just chain link.
Okay.
Any other technical questions? I have one. I noticed in one of the drawings there was a keypad entry. I might have a concern that the keypad entry will not allow a semi-truck to enter without having to get out and block a portion of the road of Plainview Drive because of the length of the semis.
I think it's shown.
It was shown in the last one, that one.
Shown on the end of the, yeah, that is a great question. Something I think we can probably work through with the applicant, how that would work, but yeah, there's not sufficient, obviously, room for them to pull in. If they pulled in and stopped at that keypad, they would obviously be protruding into the right of way.
Right.
So that's something I think we need to work through with them, of how that keypad access can be done.
No other technical questions? All right, we'll open the public comment period and request a statement from the applicant. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Anis Galitzia, 0 Plainview Drive, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, owner of AAI Properties and Vice President of Keller Transport. What we're mainly looking to do is to secure our lot, because I've noticed lately that when I've been up there on the weekends doing maintenance on my trailers, literally anyone is entering, and for example, I've seen a lady let a dog out and go to do their business on the property. The other main thing is trying to secure our products, because we work a lot with Cargill meats, and that meat cargo value is about $250,000. So we'd like to secure that from any threats in case it would happen. As it was mentioned, in the future, we do plan on hopefully building a building up there, which would have a truck wash, truck maintenance, and offices for our headquarters. And yeah, that's basically it for just trying to secure our lot.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'll ask for additional public comment. Is there anybody else in the public that would wish to speak on this matter? Anybody else that would wish to speak on this matter? Having seen none, I will close the public comment period, and since we have to ask for a closing statement from the applicant, I'm sure that you would prefer to. Oh, I have a question for you though, Ms. Prop.
Yeah, do you have an answer to that question about pulling into a keypad and blocking the roadway?
The main thing for the keypad, what was its original idea for it, was we were planning on hopefully renting out spaces to other companies, so that way they would have a secure entry as well, and that would be used for entry into the property. But worst case scenario, we can get rid of the keypad altogether, because as it was mentioned, approximately half the trailer would still be on the road by the time the driver would get out and actually punch in the number. So it'd be mostly, if we get rid of the keypad, we'd revert to the old style clicker use into the tractor trailers. So by the time the driver pulls onto Plainview, they'd be able to click it inside their cab, and the gate would already open, so that it would avert any traffic.
Okay, good. I'm glad I asked the question.
Ms. Davy.
I'm still curious about the other three sides of this. How is this secure?
You can't enter with a vehicle, perhaps, because I don't know if you noticed there's really big, I don't know how to explain it. It's bushes on the corner over there where the hotel is that are not accessible by vehicle.
So you only feel that it's under threat by somebody in a vehicle?
Yes, because it's really, really hard to move pallets of product, because approximately a pallet of product is between 1,000 and 2,000 pounds, and we don't believe that anyone would really be able to carry that by hand. And in the future,
I'd like to meet them.
In the future, we do plan on putting up fencing in the future once everything's developed, but as of right now, it's just the main source of the gate, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, so it's actual theft, not just vandalism or something you're worried about?
No, I've had instances where, so we're originally from Hartford, north of Milwaukee, and we used to park our trucks at a truck stop, and I've had instances where the trailer has been broken into, and product has been shifted, and a pallet's been lost. So that's the main thing. I don't park there anymore, and now we use the really big locks where you can't even cut it with a bolt cutter. So
Thank you.
thank you.
There's also a ditch along the roadway there, which would make it harder for someone to.
They didn't have this access. Yeah, got it.
Okay, Commission's action is on your shoulders.
A question.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Mitchell, one question.
When you install the fence, are you going to be removing any of the trees or landscaping?
Nope, gonna keep everything.
Thanks.
All right. All right, Commission, now action is on your shoulders. What will you have?
I'll make a motion to adopt the findings and recommendations as stated in the staff report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Mr. Mitchell?
30 points of landscaping. Can you clarify or give a context?
So most of our shrubs in our ordinance are worth 3 to 3.5 points for our 6 foot tall deciduous shrubs. So potentially about 10 shrubs. If they chose to go with more trees, it maybe be about 2 trees.
And is that pretty consistent with what we have asked for or would require on any other frontage road along the highway activity? I know we've done it a couple times where we've required landscaping.
We looked at the linear foot of the fenced area that exceeds the 4 feet height and kind of based it off that of what code would typically require for it.
Great, thank you.
All right, any other discussion on the motion? Seeing none, let's have our vote.
Mr. Marshall?
Aye.
Ms. Prop?
Aye.
Mr. Bowen?
Aye.
Ms. Davy?
Aye.
Councilmember Ford?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mitchell?
Aye.
Chairperson Perry?
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0.
All right, the last item on our agenda is adjournment.
I move to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion,
Second.
second, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned.